British Columbia Pipers Association was officially started in 1932, making it one of the world's oldest piping and drumming organizations. With roots dating back to 1905, with the Pipers Society and the Vancouver Pipers Society in 1921, the BCPA today has nearly 500 members and almost 20 competing pipe bands. The organization is known for a consistency of excellence and strong camaraderie, with a familiar culture throughout the scene. The competitive success of bands like Simon Fraser University, Triumph Street, City of Victoria, and the Vancouver Ladies, and soloists such as Jack Lee, Hal Senick, Jamie Troy, Alan Bevan, Reed Maxwell, and John Fisher, to name just a few, British Columbia is a consistent hotbed of talent. David Hilder is the BCPA's Vice President and Chair of both its Music Committee and Band Grading Committee. A household name in the piping and drumming world, Hilder recently concluded 5 years with a Grade 1 Scottish Power pipe band, and before that he was pipe major of the Grade 1 Triumph Street, competing at more than a decade of world championships and qualifying for the final 9 times, winning the qualifier twice and placing 6th in the medley final once. He had a successful solo piping career, working with Jamie Troy, Jimmy McMillan, and René Cusson, who is currently president of the BCPA. Hilder went on to play with City of Victoria and then SFU in the 1990s, eventually becoming pipe major of Grade 2 Robert Malcolm Memorial, leading the band to the world's Grade 2 title. He has been in demand as a piping teacher and judge for several decades. David Hilder is an example of the BCPA's strong family culture. His wife, Shauna, is herself at least as accomplished as a piper, leader, and teacher. Their son, Liam, is a highly successful piper, and their daughter, Andrina, is a skillful tenor drummer. In his professional life as a paramedic, David Hilder was awarded Canada's Emergency Medical Services Exemplary Medal and Bar from the Governor-General of Canada in 2010 and 2015, respectively. As part of our ongoing Association Leadership Spotlight series, we checked in with David Hilder for a 2-part discussion on the British Columbia Pipers Association's recent developments and objectives for the future. It's Pipes Drums, and we are here with David Hilder. David is well known to many around the world, if not most around the world, as a piper, a judge, and a teacher. He's based in the Vancouver area, and he's also the vice president of the British Columbia Pipers Association, as well as the head of their music board. And we thought we'd check in with David today about what's going on with the British Columbia Pipers Association. And thanks very much for taking the time, David.
Yeah, thanks, Andrew. Happy to be here and talk about the BC Pipers Association.
Well, we appreciate that. Thanks very much. Why don't we just start off with the BCPA? Your season's in full swing right now, but maybe talk about a few highlights that have been going on with the BCPA that might come to mind.
Sure. Yeah, thanks. We have our outdoor season is in full swing. We had a really great indoor season. We have a couple of mini gatherings throughout the fall for our amateur players, and our Easter weekends are annual gatherings. So that was very successful. And our outdoor season started on Victoria Day weekend in Victoria, a couple of day event. First time for everybody to get out on the grass. It was, decent weather. We had almost like a Scottish weekend. We had all the seasons in 2 days. Another contest starting up tomorrow, and that's the summer. We pretty much have every weekend coming up. We have a really exciting a board, forward-thinking board, strong, and not really afraid of change. So we've implemented some things this year that we're excited about. One of the things being that we're putting a little bit more focus on our tenor drumming. And it's interesting, you had done an article, and we were in full swing having conversations through the fall with our accredited tenor drumming educator, and we put a prize together at our Coquitlam Games, which is called Scotfest Vancouver, for the best tenor section. And one of our really well-known and excellent tenor drummers had an untimely passing, Brittany Angelvet. We have a commemorative trophy that's going to be presented at the Coquitlam Games for the best tenor section. Very, very excited about that. And they'll be adjudicated by a tenor adjudicator. And I think the tenor sections are pretty excited about that fact that we get some feedback and recognized for their rhythmic contribution as well as their flourishing. And they do a lot of work on that. Along on that same day, we have the Pacific Rim Drumming Championships, which is also a pretty exciting draw. Working with the RSPBA, there will be some acceptance into the World Drumming Solo semifinals from that, and we'll be awarding the J. Reed Maxwell Medal, and we're pretty excited to have J. Reed Maxwell emceeing that event, and he'll be presenting that medal to the recipient, the winner. I'm pretty excited about that. A couple of other things that we've implemented this year in our amateur events throughout the fall. We decided that we really wanted to do something to recognize and ensure recognition moving forward after coming out of the pandemic. As probably know, most associations and games down in numbers a little bit, not necessarily having really big numbers. So we wanted to ensure that even if the numbers were small, that we recognized everybody that competed. So we instituted a thing called the 4-5-6 project. Instead of just awarding first, second, and third, we have decided we're going to award up to and including sixth place. So if there's two competitors, there's first and second. The second person gets recognized. And I think it's really important because as our listeners know, every competitor works just as hard as the next. And one of the things that we work hard for is recognition. And for the younger members and competitors, it's really important that they can hear their name once in a while. So yeah, we're awarding right up into including the sixth place, and it's been well received. So we started in the indoor contest, and we've implemented that in our outdoor contest for the amateur events. Encourage and recognize and appreciate people for showing up and competing and working hard at home to perform for us. The board is really excited, to be really forward thinking and not afraid to deliver the best experience for the listener, the members, and the audience. And that's really been our focus this year is to deliver the best product that we can for the end user. And I think so far it's been pretty well received.
Very good. Yeah, it seems like a lot of forward-thinking things are happening with the BCPA. You hear a lot about what's going on. And on that note, what about long-range planning? Is the BCPA board, are you working on plans that look towards the future?
We're really working to be, and I've used the word inclusive, and I'm going to use it again. We're trying to include all performers, everybody who loves this art. I think that most associations around the world are there and have been invented for the purposes of putting on competitions and gatherings. We have a massive number of musicians and bands that are non-competitive. And so we've made an effort to reach out and engage and see what, as an association, what can we do to assist those members in our association, and what is it that they need that we could deliver to them. So we're looking at some more instructive type initiatives, and what we're hearing is that they'd love to have some people come out and help them. They don't necessarily want to be critiqued in the same stream as you would be if you were being adjudicated, but they'd certainly like some help. And so we're working towards, delivering whatever they would like us to deliver to assist them. One of the things, obviously, is helping get the information out if they're putting on an event, a dinner, a parade, a fundraiser, and putting it up on our social media. And I know that, Pipes Drums has been very helpful in sharing those as well. So that is a very helpful thing for them and for our members. So we're trying to put as much effort into competition and competitive engagement as we are in performance engagement, and it seems to be well received.
Yeah, it seems to be a different kind of thought process that other associations are looking at in this series that we've done with association leaders, talking about bringing in so-called non-competing bands, just to get
Hmm.
better, to share knowledge and bring them into the fold. Now,
Hmm.
the BCPA, you are on the west coast of Canada, the vast country of Canada, North America. Uh, are there any unique challenges that the organization faces that you might want to share?
Hmm. Unique challenges. I don't think they're unique. I really feel that we probably all have the exact same challenges around the world at the moment. It's about recruitment and retention around the world. It's about engagement and what can we deliver to either musicians or the families of musicians or people that are non-musicians that want to come and just enjoy our music, enjoy our culture. And I think it's not unique to BC for sure. Um, the more that we can communicate, share ideas with each other, and that's quite a great thing at the moment with the Anapaba initiative, being the chair of the music board. We have a conversation fairly often, whether it's just an email string, throw an idea out there. Hey, what are you guys doing about March medleys or MSRs? We have a conversation about it. It's not formal, but it's really informative. And I think that the more we can share information and help each other with ideas that have worked for us and things that have not worked for us, um, I think that's just going to help push everything forward. And social media is one of our greatest platforms to communicate. As you saw during the pandemic, we couldn't have these games, so going to an online format of competitive sharing of just playing and being involved is amazing. The number of people from around the world that jumped in on that and took advantage of it. I know that I really enjoyed seeing people from all over the world in those competitions. It was a great way to keep engaged. And yeah, so as far as being unique, I don't think so. As far as having some issues, yeah, absolutely. One of the other initiatives that we've done is we've formed a youth committee. So I wouldn't call it a parallel board, but it is run by the youngest member of our board, our BC Pipers board. Um, that Aidan Fowler is in charge of that particular committee. And we put the idea out there to see who would be interested. We had a robust number of people put their names forward. And in fact, we had to have a discussion of whether or not we were going to put a cap on it or not. And we decided not to. So they've kind of formed this group. They have their own way of communicating, their own forums to communicate. They report back to the board. They formed a committee and put on a Kaylee. They invited the two youth bands to perform at it from the Lower Mainland here, and they brought in some guest performers, and they all had a mass band performance with it. There's plans to make some more events. So what we really did was we said, "What do you want? We know what we want to deliver, and we've been delivering the same similar things for a long time. You are our future. You're our future board. You're our future end users, and yeah, what is it that you want to see out of the association?" They come up with some great things. So I'm really excited to see what they're going to bring forward after this season. And I've had some reach outs from the other association leaders asking, how did we do it? What have we done? And could they, get on board? And in fact, Jeff Mann reached out to see if we could have sort of an Anapaba representation of youth from all the associations and just share ideas. So it's also another exciting thing.
Yeah, that's so interesting, and so we
Mhm.
welcome hearing about that. So often you hear that, well, no one wants to become involved.
Yeah,
Volunteers are scarce. So in fact, if you reach out to people, they might well step up if they're made to feel welcome and valued. So okay, David,
yeah.
let's conclude part one there. And come
Okay.
back part two and talk about some more things with the BCPA. So Stay tuned for part 2 with David Hilder in our ongoing
Perfect. Thanks.
association leadership series.